Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, guys. I hope you're having a really good day. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday and everything's going swimmingly. Today, I can see that Anarchy did get first. Congratulations, Anarchy, you got first there. He says, good evening, Jay. We've also got AKB James here as well, Huey, Karcher, Musa Rides, Unicorn, 855, and Marth Like as well. So hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for being here. Tom Barnes is here as well. He says hello all. Good to see you. Good to see you. I've got a few things in store for you today. We're going to be. Thank you very much, Jason, for the subscription. 27. Gilbert's here as well. He says hello. Thanks very much for joining. Let's see. We've got a few things today. I'm going to build on stream the prototype of the it's really interesting, to say the least. I'm not sure how I'm going to find it, but fun things to do. We'll have a look at that shortly. I have got some key sets that we can pick from that later, so you guys can pick which key set you think is best. I'm really struggling to find out fit this board because I'm going to you'll see that shortly. And as well as that, I'm going to unbox my PC Deliver as well. So my PC Deliver in post. Just a couple of days ago, I was able to win a little raffle just before Christmas. Bought that. I'm going to unbox and show you guys that as well. And I've just bought another one as well. Today. There was an E-Light one and so I'll have two. I might do a dual build stream, polycarbonate and E-White next to each other. You can see it. Okay. James Miller's here as well. He says good evening. Thanks for good evening. You too. Unicorn says a colourful mouse mat today. Yes, my wife's actually really upset I'm using this mouse mat. So this, she wanted this one basically, and I'm using it. So it's kind of tough, but she wanted it. Kaizen, that is very nice. Thank you very much for that, man. He subscribes with Twitch Prime for 2 months, going on the stream. He says, have some. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Zakia is here as well. He says, hello, everyone. So, hello. And welcome to the stream. I'm not quite sure what Brian's done with the sound settings, but the very nice has gone really quiet. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me see if I can fix that, because I really like those songs. Yes, I can swap the death mats out. The wife just really wanted this one because she liked the colours. I like the colours too. So I'll take a look. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's putting it out. Kind of is frustrating me. It's very quiet. I didn't hear it at all. Yeah, I don't know why it's so quiet. What's changed? What has changed? Let's see if we can fix this. So I'm in the alert box settings. I'm in its properties. No, it's not being turned off. It's definitely, I can hear it slightly myself in my headphones, but I don't know why it's so quiet. I really don't know why it's so quiet. I'm gonna Google this. We're gonna do some live troubleshooting here, guys. Let's stream labs alert box quiet. Okay, so apparently it has a volume slider, which it does. alert box is at 100%. I don't know what causes it.
Very nice.
Oh, very nice. Sweet, thank you very much. It is there. I can hear it. I can hear it. It's just really, really quiet. I did fix this once before, and I don't know what caused it. But like, it's at 100%. I don't know why it would be really quiet. Unless it's to do with my desktop audio being quiet. Let me see if let me pause the music, because otherwise it'll definitely. Let me pause the music. Okay. Let me so the music's paused now. Let me turn my desktop volume up, and let me turn the music volume down. Let's press play. Okay, can you guys hear the music again now? Is the music back on? Is the music back, guys? Let me know. Let me know. No. So the music's not playing for you guys. What the hell is going on here? This is why I don't trust Brian to set the things up. Okay. Okay, let me quit this. Okay, let me set the music back up. I love just troubleshooting for you guys. This like, yeah, apologies if that deafened you. Like, right. Okay. So, desktop audio, stereo, settings, desktop audio, stereo. Okay, so it should be on the right thing. Can't hear music nor alert sounds if you're testing them. Yeah. For some reason, it doesn't like picking up my audio right now. Let me see if I can fix this. Man, I am really sorry, guys. I have no idea what's causing this issue. I don't know. I'm really struggling to know what's causing this issue. Ah, this is frustrating. This is really frustrating. No problems at all. Have your time. This isn't what you guys signed on for. Like, I can't even hear any music now. Like, the joys. Okay, I've got music back here, but clearly you don't. You guys don't. Let's see if we can fix that. And the answer is no. Okay, so let me stop using that app. Let me pull up some music in a different way. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get some music working for you guys. Let me go to good old Harris Heller on YouTube. The joys. Okay. Gone from quiet alerts to now no alerts, no music. Yeah, I know. I'm fucking this up, guys. It's a shame. I will fix this, I'm sure. Turn on some death metal. Okay, so you guys seem to be getting... Is it even a keyboard stream for Ants Like the Scuffed? You know it, Huey. You know it. You know it. You know exactly how this works. Okay, so for some reason it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new source. And I'm going to add a new audio source. Add a new source. Okay. Add source. Let me know when music comes back on. There we go. You guys can hear music now, right? You've got music, yeah? Is it too loud? Is the music too loud, or is it quiet? Yes. Okay. How's the volume on it? It's just the source that's scuffed. For some reason, it doesn't like it. A little down, it's okay. Okay, let's turn it down a little bit. Windows Center was super loud. I apologize for that. Yeah, I can't disable that. I think, yeah, so the Windows sound, I think, is tied to the widget sound. So let's try that now. Let's try it now.
Ooh, very nice.
There you go, you see. So the widget sound is actually tied to my desktop audio sound.
Nice.
Mac Mutant, thank you very much for 18 months. We get there in the end. Okay, now I just need to fix the music for me because it's really loud in my ears. Okay, let me just adjust the audio settings for myself, just a touch. There we go. Okay, yeah, so I have to use desktop audio so you guys hear what I hear on my desktop to get the subscription notifications out really loud. So you should now hear it at the same volume as I hear it.
Ooh, very nice.
Which is actually legible rather than, ooh, very nice. You know, so there we go. Okay, so what do? We don't let Brian touch the settings. That's what we do from now on. Very nice. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what we missed in chat. Gone from quiet alerts now to no music. LOL. Yeah. Turn on some death metal. Is it even a keyboard scream if it ain't slightly scuffed? Is that a Leopold keyboard down there? No, I don't own any Leopold. I do own some Leopold keyboards, but I don't have them. So I bought them just for the keycaps, and I lent the boards to friends. Just tell us a playlist and we'll play it on our end. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got it back and we've got it all fixed now. We've got it fixed. We've got She here as well. Thank you very much for joining, She. Looks somehow similar. Which keyboard do you mean? Do you mean the one down here? If you look in the little box.
Ooh, down there. Very nice.
Headchi, thank you very much, man. It's your keyboard we're building. Well, it's my keyboard, but you designed it today. It's your design. Yeah, on the desk, this is a F1 ATEX by GeonWorks. You can search up my build stream for that a few weeks ago. It's very, very good. I really, really like this board. Like, I'm not usually a TKL fan, and it takes a lot for me to use an anti-board. I use this board like you wouldn't believe. That's the truth. Let's flip over to the other cameras, guys, and you'll be able to see, and then we can start to talk through what we're going to do today. Okay, so, you guys can see Switcher, not Switcher, you guys can see, why is that there? Why is that there? This is so scuffed today. This is so scuffed today. It's not via, what on earth is that called on this? It's QMK Toolbox, but it's not called Toolbox in my list of things. This is where Brian's added sources to stuff, and he hasn't named them properly. And we've got one that's just called Triple S. Don't know. Let's just quit the app and do it that way. The scuffling B2. I know, right? QMK Toolbox. There we go. May anyone type down the keyboard model? Yeah, it's the. I'll type it out for it. It's the GeonWorks F1 ATEX. There you go. I've spelt works wrong, but there you go. Thank you very much, James Miller. Thank you very much for the subscription. That is very, very nice of you. Thank you very much, my dude. Okay. So, Oxy, you say Brian is one of those people who enter random letters for file names, isn't he? Let me be really clear, guys. I have got one that... DD Decline, thank you very much. 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you. Ah, my heart is with you, man. I appreciate that so much. More than I can tell you. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Ooh, very nice now. Now I've got the volume up. They're all coming in. Ooh, very nice. Ooh, very nice. Thank you. DD Decline. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. I think there's 2 more to go. Let's wait for them to go through. There we go. Last one. Music has gone on alerts very quiet again. Ah, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Oxy, don't tell me that. The music's probably gone really quiet. What is changing? Why is this happening? The scene changed, that's why. Yes, that's a good point. Good point, good point. Let me add Yeah, you guys are absolutely right. Audio output catcher. I will fix it now. There you go. There you go. Fixed. 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 I'm sure it's fixed. Anyway, back to the question. Thank you very much, DD Decline. The question from Oxy was, is Brian one of those people who just enter random letters for file names? Some of the fun. So we share Streamlabs OBS, right? And when I save settings, he loads up Streamlabs OBS later on. It will download those settings. Like, it saves all the settings in the cloud, and whatever he does affects whatever I do. Whatever I do affects what he does. So I created some that say things like sponsor banner, sponsor space banner. Nice. That's really nice and easy. It's dead simple. It's great. I have ones that I've created called chat box. I've got ones created called the tip jar. I've got other ones called J build overlay, and all sorts of things like that. I've got via alert box, all sorts of things like that. And then we get to the ones that Brian has done, and we've got SSS, we've got FFF, we've got some camera, we've got the other camera. I'm reading these off here. What else have we got? Okay, so for audio sources, we've got my mic, Jay's mic, random mic. Don't know what that means. Face. I don't know what face means. Face. This is an audio input, guys. Face. Like, what is that even supposed to be? Don't know. Like, it's so frustrating. He just adds things, and then because he has some of the same equipment as me, like, the sources recognize them as each other, and they'll change the settings to fix whatever one of us has had. That's really frustrating as well. Anyway, we fixed it. We fixed it. V88V was absolutely spot on, and with the reason why, it's because I changed the scene and I forgot to add the source on both scenes. So there we go. Brian Rostrum today. Yeah, random mic. Like, what even is that supposed to be? Like, I have no idea. I have zero idea what that's even supposed to be. Anyway, let's talk about what we're going to show you on stream today. So we're going to show you a few things. The first thing I want to share with you guys is actually a board that I took in just this week, and this comes from Linworks. Is this the equivalent of not putting the toilet seat down? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So this was a board that I was lucky enough to buy from, you see the Lin logo here. I was lucky enough to buy just before Christmas. And Lin was selling some PC boards. They were selling polycarbonate montages and polycarbonate Dollingers. And I've been wanting a polycarbonate Dollinger for a long time. They needed this amazing stream where they laid out all the projects they're going to work on for the next 12 months. And as part of that, they also relayed who'd won the raffle for the boards. And I was lucky enough to win this. And I've been so impressed by this board just by looking at it that I actually bought an E-White version today as well. So I'll have two of them because it's just so nice. So I just wanted to share this because I really love this. Like, if you've seen a Dollinger, you've probably seen this before, but man, was I happy with this. So the first thing, we have a frosted PC plate, which is ANSI only and has a really open bottom row. There we go. That's the first thing that we have. We have a couple of PCBs. Now these are the Fave 65 PCBs that we use in the Key 65. They do have RGB underglow and everything else you could possibly want on them, so they're going to be interesting boards to say the least. So we'll see what with those. I'm not usually a fan of the Fave PCBs, but hey, it's a thing. PC plate is good. It is. It just needs to be ISO. It just needs to be ISO. Dollinger Twinsies. Yeah, I know you've got one as well, She. And then under here, I've got the board, and this is just so nice. Like, it's just so nice. This is polycarbonate through and through. It's got this wonderful 3-layer curved edge to it here, which is just absolutely stunning. It's got this brass weight on it that half sticks out of the board, and it's really difficult to show you, but it does kind of stick out of the board here. It's kind of just slightly raised up at this edge, and then it goes flat back into the board, so that stays parallel, goes back into the board, and the board is raised around it. And it's got these wonderful grooves on there as well, which are milled into the board, and it's just so nice. It's just absolutely lovely. ISO enter, best enter. Personally, I think that, yeah, we'll see what we can do. One of the other details, which I never knew the Dollinger had, is it's also got the curve here as well. So it's really hard to show you guys, but there's another curve in there. You can kind of see the shape just in the rear. It's just really, really nice. So yeah, I was really chuffed to win this, or win the option to buy this. And I like it that much, I bought another. So yeah. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I really, really, really am a big fan of it. Makes me wonder why I didn't buy a Dollinger before. But my Matrix board collection has gone from 1 Matrix board to 5 Matrix boards in less than 2 months, which is kind of crazy when we think about it. Curve in the back makes it really easy to pick up. It does, absolutely. It's just lovely. I think it was about $800 all in. $800 plus UK import fees. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's just a really nice bit of kit. It's just absolutely stunning to look at, and I genuinely really like it. The E-White one I bought today was $1,100, just for comparison. That one Brody says fave PCBs are annoying. Yeah, I've used a couple of them. I think did I have a fave in this? I can't remember, but yeah, I really like it. So I've got, which Matrix boards do I have? I've got a Lin Montage, which is in Peacock Blue. I've got the polycarbonate Lin Dollinger. I've got a Lin Dollinger in E-White coming. I've got another Montage in polycarbonate coming, and I have got one other Lin board as well. I have forgotten temporarily what it is. Or is it even a Lin board? No, it's something that's here. It's not something that's in group buy. Why have I just gone completely blank? Oh, that's it. It's the POM Lin Whale. So it's a POM Lin Whale. That's currently with Quakem's, and it's on its way over to me this week. I completely forgot about it. So yeah. So which Matrix boards do I own? The Matrix boards that I own, sorry, that was the Lin boards I own. The Matrix boards that I own, I have a Noah 65, I have a Able version Dark Plus. Do I have any other Matrix boards? Sorry, yeah, I did a confuse and I answered the same thing. So I have 5 Lin boards, and I have I think I've got 2 Matrix boards, unless I'm forgetting something. Noah 65 version Able plus Dark. What else has Matrix made? I think that's it. I think that's all I have. I think that's everything. I think that's all I have. 1.2 OG. No, sorry, I did have a 1.2 OG. I don't have that anymore. Yeah, I don't have that anymore. Sorry, James. Thank you very much for correcting me, though. You are absolutely spot on. And Kaizen, I apologize for telling you about my Lin boards when you asked about my Matrix boards. But yes, no, I don't have a 1.2 OG anymore. But they are really nice boards. They are really nice boards. I just got the Able version Dark Plus and the Noah 65 as far as I can remember. I don't think I have any other Matrix keyboards. Let me have a quick look at see what Matrix have, and I'll tell you if I have any of the others. Matrix keyboards doesn't give you what I thought it would do if you Google it. Matrix Lab keyboards. Let's see what this gives me. I don't think I have any others, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. No, I don't think so. I'm just looking through the list of boards that they've run. I don't think I have anything else. I don't have an ATEX. Yeah, I don't have any other Matrix boards. Not that I can see. Not that I can see. That's it. Timo Keyboard, it's an F1 ATEX by GeonWorks. I don't have a keyboard command on here because Brian and I switch between streaming and we change boards pretty much every week, so it's difficult to keep that command up to date. but it's a Geonworks F18X. It's all good, says Zenkaisen. Excited to see the stream. The Oceanographer is such an interesting 40s board. It really, really is. It's very interesting. And while we're talking about it, these are the switches that I'm going to be using today. So these are lavender switches. These have been lubed with Krytox 205 grade 0, and they have got Krytox 105 on the springs. So this is what we'll be building on stream with today. Nice lavender switches. So there we go. PT Lube Station, you know it, man. You know it. Lavender switches are full nylon housings. Yes, they're still full nylon housings. Yeah. I just chucked some lavenders stock into my hot swap to test, thinking of doing a prime release build with them. Yeah, they're a really nice switch. They sound great as well. Mech had them on his stream the other day, and he had them completely stock in like a really cheap board, like it was a hot swap board, and they sounded great. They sounded really, really good. And speaking of...
Very nice.
Oh, very nice. A real big boss. Thank you very, very much for the subscription. Thank you very much. It is a 64 switch lube station. Yeah, so these are going to be on my store on Monday. I'll have a very limited number in this color, which is kind of like a bright green. Let me show you against the box. There you go. It's that color. They have the PT logo just here, laser engraved. Fits 64 switches. They are 10 millimeters thick, and as you can see, they're really, really thick boyos. I'll have more of them in the clear. This is the clear version. It's not going to focus because it's clear, but trust me, it's there. PT logo down here. There you go. Price still to be determined. Like, I'll tell you a fact. Like, I can get 10 out of these out of one sheet, and that sheet is about £70 plus VAT. For the same size sheet in this color, it's £110 plus VAT. So that color will be more expensive, but there'll be fewer of them. So there we go. There won't be a US vendor. No, these will just be for sale on Prototypist. That's it. Yeah, but yeah. 64 switch lube stations, 10 millimeters thick. These are chunky as hell. Like, they're so rigid and robust. They're great. Hold the switches in nicely so you can tip it upside down, but they're not so tight that you can't just pop them out really easily. They're designed to be quite loose. Anyway, enough about lube stations. I feel like I'm shilling, and you guys can get those on Monday if you want one. Okay, Azui says, fuck. Azui, if you really, really want one of these, just drop me a DM and I'll sort you one out. We'll figure out how to get you one. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. But there won't be. I make these in the workshop, like literally through that wall. There is some being made right now. The wall that's at that side of me. There's some that are being made right now, right this hot second on the laser cutter. So they're made literally right here in my workshop. So there's not going to be other vendors. I will lick it for you if you really want me to. Yes, that we can do that, but not on stream. Anyway, this is the Oceanographer. I don't want to show you the top because there's so many stickers showing my address on there, and it'd be a little bit bad of me to do that. But this is how it came, all wrapped up inside here. Now, I've only had the briefest of looks at this board. I haven't actually done anything with it, so. Documents enclosed, yeah, it was the import documents and licenses and everything else. But it's pretty chunky, like this is pretty hefty. In fact, it's really hefty. You guys guess what it is yet? Can you guess what it is? There's the board, guys. Pop that to one side just for a second. We have some more bits in here. We have the first plate. There is the other plate in the board. And you guys can pick which plate we use as well. And then we have the PCB. Okay, so first things first, we have the PCB. This has been hand soldered. I don't know who by. I assume Hedgie, but they've done a good job on it. Like, they've done a really good job. Like, from what I can see, if this, I mean, is this hand soldered? If this is hand soldered, Hedgie, you've done a marvelous job. Like crazy. Taylor soldered it. Man, that's a good job. That's a really good job. Like, I'm sorry guys, I'm not showing you. This is so neat. This is really, really neat and tidy. Anyway, that's the PCB. Yeah, and it's going to go this way up. So it's going to go this way up with the components on this side. So you're going to have it like this. So you're going to see we've got the components for the LEDs up here. Camera, please. Come on, camera, focus. There you go. You've got LEDs just here. We've got the processor here, and then we've got another chip just there. No in-switch diodes, you'll notice. It's all taken care of through the electronics up here, which is really cool. Yeah, really impressed with the soldering on this, especially on the MCU. Wow, really impressed. ARM as well. Diodeless, yeah. He fully designed the PCB. He's done a great job. Like, I hadn't actually had a chance to have a look at this. I didn't realize it was diodeless. Like, that's really cool. I didn't even know that was possible. So, big props on that one. That's really cool. This is just the prototype whitewash, so I don't think that the final decision on the colours has been decided as yet. We do have an FR4 plate. This is just standard FR4, cut to size, relatively flexible. Open bottom row, same plate file as this, I believe. So we've got the choice of brass, or we can go with FR4. I'll let you guys pick shortly. We've also got the LCD screen, which is just in here. And then we've also got our rotary encoder in here, along with a, if the camera decides to focus, along with a nice knob as well. So yeah, interesting. I'm gonna have to work out how to put all of this together now and make sure I know where everything goes. Brass, so it's hefty as possible. This board is really heavy. Like, this is really heavy. Like, it's stonkingly heavy. Like, for the size of it, I can't tell you how heavy this is. This is like really heavy, and it's in this lovely green color. As you can see there, that's the anodization on the green. I can weigh it. Yes, we can do a weighing bit towards the end. Let's build it first, and then we'll weigh it towards the end. You can see we've also got the logo on the rear as well, just here, which looks pretty cool. Center USB. And then on the back, we've got this huge slab of brass and this lovely ship oceanographer detail design as well, which looks really good. It's nice and shiny. I think this has been clear coated, and if it has, it looks like a really good job. You could infill it. Yeah, you could infill that. I'm not going to do that, but you could infill it. It's like 4.5 pounds, like that. It's heavy. Yeah, it's really heavy. Like, it's chunky enough to vibrate my desk. Yeah. I think that's just Yushi. There looks to be no problems with the stream from this end. Let me just check Twitch's end. Twitch looks good as well. Surprisingly, Twitch looks good as well. The weight design is beautiful. Yeah, the weight design is really cool. Like, it's just a stunning design. You can see that clear coat shining there as well. Normal brass wouldn't do that if it wasn't clear coated, which means we can touch it and not have to worry about it. That espresso looks incredible. Thank you very much, Factory Vitals. Thank you. I have a coffee machine in the workshop because I drink a lot of coffee, like a lot of coffee, with my handmade mug that's not round. If you look, it's not actually round, isn't this mug? It's kind of like egg shaped. It's completely not round at all, and that's because it was made for me by a friend, and when they were making it, they shaped it by doing that. So it's not actually round. That's how they shaped it. So it actually has the shape of their thumb in here and almost like a peaked point, but it's nice because that's where I drink from. So custom fit for your mouth, right? Okay, let's take the board apart and let's get prepped for this build then. So we need a hex screwdriver. I believe it's this size. Nope, need something a bit bigger. In before I don't have one that's big enough to do it. Oh, tight. Even the mug is custom. It's roundish. Yeah, it's what's the word? It's a non-linear circle, right? Okay. Ugh. Okay, take these screws out and then we can show you guys the inside of the board a little bit better. Okay. So here's the inside of the board. You can see there's the weight. It does say Oceanographer FSTS. I don't know what the FSTS stands for. I'm going to have to ask Hedgie, and hopefully it's not something rude. One of two of the things that Hedgie has mentioned is that a couple of the founders steer the ship. There you go, founders steer the ship. Is that the tolerances here are going to be a little bit tighter on the main board. So you can see that there is some slight gaps between the weight and my finger. You can probably see my finger moving around in the background. If I do this, you can probably see a white line just go across there. All of those tolerances are going to be tightened up for the production run, so you don't need to worry about those. But there you go, huge chunk of solid brass in the bottom. It's just so heavy. It's just so heavy for this size board. And then inside we've got the brass plate, and of course you can see that we've got the 6 mounting points there as well. So it is just a top mount board. It's got alignment pins here and here, and then you've got the standard screw holes, the 4 screw holes we took out from the outside of the case to hold it together, and these nice thick chunky bezels as well. The FSTS won't be on the group buy boards. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So I assume the group buy boards is just going to say Oceanographer on the inside, right? And props for using actual good hardware as well. So a lot of boards come from manufacturers with Chinesium screws, but these screws are good quality ones. I can tell that these have been replaced. These aren't the ones that come from the factory. These have definitely been replaced, because they're really nice. Either that or there was good screws sent to the factory, because these are not the type of screws a factory would spend money on, I'll be honest. These are really, really nice. Okay, and then we can take the plate out, and you can see there that we've got the brass plate coated as well. It's got the cutouts for those LEDs we talked about before, and then of course for the rest of the design as well. So there we go. LED will sit just here, I believe. I need to work out how we do that. From what I think is once you've installed the plate and the switches, the LED will then come up through here, so there'll be a little bit of a standoff for the LEDs just there, for the OLED, sorry, the OLED, and then the OLED will lay across the top, so the plate will be raised off the PCB by a small amount, and then the OLED's going to come up and then over this part here, and then it will sit above there. That's what I think is going to happen. Hedgie, tell me if I'm wrong. We all love the KBD's non-magnetic screws, right? Well, these aren't magnetic. Like you can see, these aren't magnetic, but magnetic screws aren't always the best. What you want is a screw that is actually tough and not made of Chinesium. And by Chinesium, I just mean metal that's really soft. These are actually really, really tough screws, and I'd be quite comfortable putting quite a bit of torque behind them if I had to. Like, these are really nice. You can just tell sometimes when you put a screwdriver in a screw, whether it's going to be a good fit or not. Like, that fits perfectly. There's no play between the screwdriver and the screw itself. Like, it fits in the slot really nicely. And often on really crap screws, you'll put it in and you'll have like a little bit of play, so you'll be able to twist it slightly before the screw starts to turn. That's a sign that the screw is really weak and it's actually going to shear. So if you ever experience that, change your screws, guys. Change your screws. Those are the screws coming with the boards as well. Excellent. Good to know. So let's take a look at the machining on the inside of this board. So first thing, you've got a really deep series of pockets here. You can see that there's actually multiple tiers. So you've got the first tier down to this ledge here, and then you've got a second tier down to another ledge there, which is the base of the inside, and the LCD should fit flush against that. And we've got the hole here for the rotary encoder as well. There is some mill marks on the insides here. I think that's just due to the difficulty of how it is to mill these deep pockets out with all of the details and retain it as well. But again, this is just a prototype. In terms of the anodization, it's pretty good. It's really even, as you can see in terms of the color. You can see my fingerprints there because it's cold, but you can see it's really even in terms of the color. There's no striping or streaking or marking in the anodization itself. There are the expected hook marks on the inside. That's something you're always going to get with anodization. But I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. So there's an example of a hook mark just there. That little white dot, that's a hook mark, but it's on the secondary tier. So this is the tier that you can see from the outside, and this is really low down on the inside. So that's pretty nice. Taking a look at the bottom, as we say, you can see that there is a gap just between if I hold it like that, you can see the desk through there. If I tilt it, you can see the desk show up. That's all going to be fixed before the group by happens, so the weight does fit a little bit nicer and fills that gap in. There's a couple of suggestions I can make on how to make that a little bit nicer as well. But yeah, something really easy to fix for the actual group by. I'm glad I'm not crazy regarding screws. I have a real complaint with cheap screws. Like, I like good screws. I have a thing about using good screws. It's a thing. A proto likely require brute force. In my case, power tools. Yeah, if you mean the board that I sent you, Neddy, I didn't change those screws out. I should have done. I should have changed those screws out. Yeah, they're not usually the greatest quality screws. Okay, so we can also see that there is a little bit of play once the case is aligned. I think when Hedgie mentioned that the tolerances were going to be tightened up, I really would recommend tightening up the tolerances on the alignment pins here, because that's what it's rattling on. The screws will hold that in place, but it means you do have to do a little bit of alignment as you screw it together. So they do need to be tightened up a little bit. But again, I know Hedgie's got that in hand. So there we go. Torque screws. So DD, that's what I use in the JO1s and JO2s. So torque screws is what I would like to use in every build that I do. They are so good and much better than hex. I personally think that a decent torque screw is the right screw for any keyboard. The challenge is finding good suppliers. Here in the UK, we have a great company called Westfield Fasteners, and they do amazing custom screws. They can make pretty much anything you want, and they're a really good company to work with as well. But it's about finding the right manufacturer in the right part of the world where you are that sells good quality screws. Like, the one thing I would say to anyone who's ever going to run a keyboard design is, if you're going to send screws with the board, get screws from everywhere. Get like a small packet of screws from everywhere and find the best screws. Try and strip them. Put them into like a block of wood and try and strip them. You know, tap a bit of metal and try and strip them as hard as you can, because the last thing you want is for someone to buy a board off you and they put this screw in there and this screw rounds off and they can't take the board apart, or for that screw to snap or something like that. So it's always worth bearing that in mind. I think the thing with McMaster Carr, from what I've looked at graded designs, is that there is a varying level of quality between the screws that they sell, and you have to pick the right screw from them to get the right quality. And people often overlook that. They think all screws are the same, and they're really, really not. Like, a good quality screw is worth the extra 5 cents that it is. It really is. Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is cherry pick. Like, I don't know of any American companies that do this. I can't recommend any because I haven't used them. But if you're in the UK, Westfield Fasteners any day of the week. Okay. So now it's time to build the board. And this is where, guys, I need your input. Which plate would you like to see me build with today? Would you like to see me build with the breastplate, or would you like to see me build with the FR4 plate? Which plate would you like to see in the build today? Brass or FR4? Let me turn on a poll and you guys can pick. New poll. Which plate? Brass, FR4. Okay, it's that poll. You've got 5 minutes, guys. Make your decisions. Vote away. Tell me what plate you would like to have in this board. What you would like to see me build it with. Brass, or alternatively, FR4. I do think the blue clashes a little bit with the green, whereas the copper, sorry, the brass looks really good. So don't let that influence you. You pick whatever you think. You guys go with whatever you think. I'm going to zoom this camera in just a little bit. Just a little bit. Wrong way. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's better. You can see me now. All my boards are FR4, so brass is a nice change. Nice. Vultato says brass. Friendship says FR4. DD says brass. And he is the current hype train leader, is DD. So, you know, that must go for something. Something Asian has the opposite. I have a real mix in my boards. I have everything from PC to POM to ALU to brass to FR4. I have lots of to copper. I have lots of different boards with different plates in. I don't ever tend to stick to one particular material. Interesting that FR4 looks like water and keycaps would look like small rafts on it. Sure, I kind of get that. Yeah, I don't think the brass does go, the FR4 does go with the green, right? Like that's my take on it as well, DD. But we'll go with whatever the majority say in chat. Asian says, honestly, lavenders in Alu sounds amazing, so I think brass will be good. I'll be putting lavenders on my FR4 on my van soon anyways. Have lavenders in my UTD, very nice sound. Yeah, I have thousands of lavenders in the workshop, and this is the first time I built with them, so yeah. But they are really nice switches. They do feel really nice, and they sound good looped as well. And they have this whole crystal look to them. Really nice. Okay, we're only about halfway through the vote time as well, but it does seem like brass is winning. It seems like most people are going for brass. So if you haven't voted, there's like nearly 100 people watching, guys. You need to vote. Kirsten, what are your thoughts on lavenders compared to other JWK linears? Well, the difference is that these are all nylon. So these have a nylon top housing and a nylon bottom housing as well. Most other JWK switches don't have that. They have various forms of different plastics. So these do sound a little bit different. And my biggest challenge with using JWK switches is usually that they don't sound particularly good. These ones definitely do sound better. From all of the builds I've seen, I've been really impressed with how they sound, so I'm really excited to get a good sound out of these in this board today. Yeah, less clacky, I think. Yeah, especially once lubed, they seem to sound really good. So let's build and let's find out. I haven't used them in a board as yet.
Very nice.
Asian, thank you very much. That was very, very nice of you. Thank you very much for the subscription there. I really appreciate it. Cherry should just sell tops. Potentially, yeah. Porcupine is here as well. He says, hello, hello, good sir. Do the lavenders have the JWK issue of caps popping off? Had a bunch of alpacas, koalas, H1s pop off after doing keycap swaps. I've never had that, Zui. I've never experienced that. I've got to be honest, I've not experienced that. Just popping in to say hi. Hi. Hey. Hey now. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining Porcupine. I appreciate you. Yeah, I've never experienced that, Zui. I've seen that some people with CRP keycaps have had them pop off pretty much every type of switch, but I haven't seen it with GMK, for example, on all of those switches. The only time I've seen it with most standard keycaps like GMK and SA and all of that kind of stuff is with the UHM WPE stems, because those stems have really got terrible tolerances on the cruciform. So yeah. I haven't tried either of the Boba switches out, Mathike, I'm afraid. So yeah, I haven't tried either of those. I do have thousands of seal switches and thousands of another switch I can't remember the name of. Giant V4s, Frosties, Giant V4 Frosties as well that I need to test because they're going up on the store on Monday as well. So I do need to test those out. Zui says,
ooh, very nice.
Ooh, very nice. U4T in stock. Nice. He says, subscribe for 9 months. That's Kajahatas. Thank you very much for that, dude. Zui says, stems get looser after time with JWK for whatever reason. I have EPBT, GMK, JTK, and MT3. I've really not experienced that, Zui. Like, genuinely, I haven't experienced that. So, yeah, share more information on that if you can. I'd be interested to see. Okay, so the winner for the plate was brass, guys. The brass plate 1, so that's the plate we're going to use today, which means we don't need this. That's now it's landed in the dog's bed. Luckily the dog's not here, but that landed in the dog's bed. First job is to put some stabilizers in. Now what I do need to remind myself of is what spacebars I want to use on this, because I'm not a big split space guy. So does it take a 6.25U spacebar? That is the big question for me here. Will it take a 6.25U spacebar? It certainly looks like it will. Yes, it does. 10U OG, please. I do have some 10U spacebars from a couple of old Commodore boards I have. So we're going to go with 6.25U spacebar, and that's the only stabilizer we need, guys. That's literally the only stabilizer we need. 7U is classy, but I love split. I'm not a fan of split spacebars. Like, I just don't get on well with it. Almost all a big bar. Yeah. Well, I have, I think I have 6U or 7U in my, oh god, what's the name of the board? The one by Pona, Equinox. I think I have a 6U spacebar in there. In fact, it's probably behind me somewhere. Yeah, it's just there, 6U spacebar. My Kaz with big bar looks hilarious, but looks so good. Big bar all the way, absolutely. Okay, so we're just going to lube up the wires for this stabilizer. We're going to lube it with 205 grade 2. We're going to put a nice thick layer on here. Not too much that we gum it all up, but just enough to make it nice and smooth to use, make it return well. Okay. And then we're going to slide that into the housing. We're not going to lube the sliders just yet. We will do that in a second, but we're just going to pop the wire into the housing first. Just like so. That's now in place. That's now moving as it should. And then we're going to do the other side. Okay. Thoughts on lubing linear switches with GPL 105?
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, very nice. Thank you very much, Rabbit, for the subscription. 10 months, currently on a 3-month streak. It says almost a year. Just 2 more months to go, man. 2 more months to go, and you will have that elusive year. Almost a year. That's a huge amount of time. I really like GPL 105. I think it's one of the nicer oils, and I tend to prefer... I do like I tend to prefer a grease rather than an oil on switches these days, but I do really like a nicely lubed linear with oils. It's pretty good. It's a good experience. So now we're just using the leftover lube that was on the brush, and we're just gonna lube the slider rails just to make sure that they're nice and smooth. Remember, we're not trying to gum these up, we're just trying to make sure that they're smooth actuation up and down. As well as that, I'm just going to put a small dollop in the back, just where the wire pokes through, just to make sure that that folds down and covers any parts that have scraped off as we inserted the wires. And just make sure that's nicely lubed. Okay, and that is our one and only spacebar for this build, one and only stabilizer for this build done. Okay, time to pop the spacebar in, the stabilizer in. Just gonna clip that in, just like so. There we go. Flip it over, grab a screwdriver, and we'll screw this in. That's a big tub of lube. Yeah, I get through a lot of lube, Arcana, so I need a big tub. Okay. And remember, when you're putting these screws in the base of the PCB, you don't want to go too tight. You're not trying to crush the PCB between the stabilizer and the screw. You're just trying to hold the stabilizer in place. So just go finger tight and then a quarter turn after that. That's all you need to do. You're going to go tight till it gets some resistance. And you're just going to go a quarter turn more. No more than that. Any more than that, and you're starting to put stress on the PCB that you don't need to. So you screw down. As soon as you feel that, as soon as you feel it tighten up, and then a quarter turn, and that's it. That's all you need to do. And that's our spacebar stabilizer installed. Which means next job is now to put in the switches. Just going to get this first one lined up with the PCB. Push it in nicely. We're just going to put a couple of these in, roughly one in each corner, and we're just going to press them into the PCB so they're nice and flush. And then once we've got these in each corner, we can then start to put the rest of these switches in across the plate. So what we're trying to do here is just squeeze so that the gap between the plate and the PCB is just switch, so that you can't see a gap between the PCB and the base of the switch, and making sure that the switch is nicely seated into the plate as well. So we're just going to make sure everything is even and flush. Okay, this is where I can't remember what bottom row this damn thing takes, Hedgie. You need to remind me, what's the best bottom row with a 6.25U spacebar? Sorry, yeah, 6.25U spacebar. What's the best bottom row? I'm just going to put the fixed switches in for now, and then we'll worry about this monstrosity of a gap later on. Oh, wait. Encoder has to go in first. Okay. Hopefully I see that. Yeah, I haven't soldered it yet, guys. Don't worry. It's not soldered. You realise this is easy, right? Crisis of it. It's no crisis. Gosh. This all comes apart. I haven't soldered anything yet, guys. Guys, it wasn't close. There was nothing an issue. Okay, so rotary encoder. Only goes in one way round. We will have to clip the pins on it afterwards, but we'll do that once it's soldered in. There we go. Rotary encoder in. Happy, guys? Happy now? Happy? 3-1U to the left and 1-1U on the right of spacebar. Yeah, on the right is fine. Like it's fixed on the right, so I think we're good from there. You say that like it wouldn't have gone in. Like that would have fit. Like it's sunk. The plate's gone around it now, so that would have gone in later on. That would absolutely have fit in later on. That would absolutely have gone in later on. You guys worrying about nothing. Okay, now we can put the rest of the switches in. I guarantee that would have gone in. Like, there's nothing to worry about there. There's enough tolerance around the side of that on the switch plate to fit it in. Guaranteed. You guys are acting like it was actually an issue. Like, it wasn't like I'm soldering the board. Yet. Okay, so now we're just pushing the switches in, making sure that they're nicely aligned with the plate and the PCB, making sure everything's even and smooth, making sure the gaps remain consistent, and then we'll start to fill in the gaps that we leave where we haven't put switches yet. Just some kidding. I know, I'm winding you guys up. It was a huge issue, says Arcana. Yeah, sure. If that was a huge issue, man, I'd hate to see you guys in an emergency. Oh, I've noticed my plate has a bend in it. That's not something I've done, but it has got a bend in it. I just threw it in the spacebar.
Tasty.
Thank you very much, Jasha, for the 100 catastrophe averted bits. I appreciate those bits, man. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you. I'll show you guys in a second once I put the switches in. In fact, I'll show you now. So this isn't something I've done. The plate's straight. Come on, camera, focus, please, camera. But the actual front bar of the space bar here, there is a slight bend in the plate. I'm sure that's just something that's happened in transit and won't happen in production, but has got a slight bend in it. We'll get the board built and then we'll try and fix that. Catastrophe averted bits. I like that, J Chef. I like that. That one feels like it doesn't want to go in. There we go. I don't think I could ever sit with a keyboard in my lap. Okay, I just don't think that's something that I could do. I'm very much a desk man for my keyboard. Okay. It's mega comfy. I'm sure it is, man. If I leaned back while I was streaming, we'd be in a world of pain. I wouldn't be able to reach the table. Like, look, if I lean back, like this isn't comfortable to stream. Like I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I need to be upright and over the top of the board. Okay. almost there with the switches now. Whoops. What's up with that? Oh, slightly open switch there. That's me rushing to lube them in front of Battlestar Galactica this morning. Hey Switch Doctor, thank you very much for being here. Good morning to you too as well. How is everything in Australia right now?
It's 2103 by the way.
Did you guys hear that? Siri just decided to talk to me. How random. How weird. Thank you, Siri. Yeah, that is the time. How is it this morning in Australia, Switch Doctor? Let me know. Okay, right. So Hedgie said, DD Clan says Skynet. Time to go, yeah. So Hedgie said, one news. I'm trying to find it. Where did Hedgie tell me what was the right bottom row to use? I'm scrolling back through chat. I can't find it. I'm sure he did mention it in chat. I can't find it. 3 1U to the left of 6.25 and 1U on the right. Well, we've got the right part sorted. We can do the 6.25U spacebar as well because that's nice and easy. There we go. And then we just need to do standard 1U positions here. There we go. They do feel mighty close to each other, I'll be honest. Maybe it's right. It's good. Okay, switch is done. There we go. Let's catch up with chat. It's hot in Australia. Nice. I know it's quite a while since the build, but how do you like the marshmallow switches? Yes, I put those in my TMO V2 if I remember rightly. I haven't used that board a ton, so that board was going to be my travel board, and then COVID happened. So I haven't used them a ton, I'll be honest, but they are really nice switches. They are pretty good. Yeah, if you have a bunch of marshmallow switches, it's not bad. So all the way to the leftmost switch holes, yeah, and then it's 1U gap. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're in the right place. We'll soon find out. If it's wrong, more content for the stream. It's good. Okay, and then we are going to do the LED, the OLED last, but let's see if we can work out how that's going to sit in here. So this is going to sit on here like so. I think one of the things I'm probably going to do is try and find something to just pop under there for the time being while we stream, because I don't want the OLED touching, and I think there's going to be like a 3D gubbin that's going to hold that apart as well. So I'm just going to make sure that's all aligned on there. I'll solder this together first. This is basically the pins being soldered to the OLED. So I'll do that first, and then I will solder the whole thing onto here, and we'll put some plastic underneath there for now as well so it doesn't short out. Yeah, looking good. In case you need the Kaylee, I think we're good, but thank you very much, DD. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Okay. Oh. Is this going to work even better than this? Okay. So we might have a standoff here that gives us the right height. Let's see. Is that standoff to the right height, Hedgie? Is that how it works? That seems way too high, I've got to be honest. That does seem really high. No, don't use the black thing. Got it. Yeah, it seems way too high. Unintentional extra piece, not a problem. I'm just going to use the this small piece here, and we'll solder that into there, and then we'll level it up to the right height by raising or lowering these pins on the base. If it decides to focus, these pins at the bottom will raise or lower it in there once we soldered the rest of the board together. Then we've got bump-ons, and we'll put the knob on last. Okay, we don't need the black bit. There we go. Nice and easy. Okay, guys, which does mean we're on to the part of the stream where I'm going to be soldering. Which means, if you guys haven't watched before, this is the time where you guys can ask me anything. So you just need to tag me with @TopClack, and you guys can ask me anything about life, love, relationships, keyboards, what I do for a living, what I don't do for a living, what cars I drive, you name it. You can ask me any question you like, and as long as the answer is going to be stream safe and Twitch safe and not against terms of service, I will answer it. You can ask me anything at all. You can ask me about business. You can ask me about what I had for food today. You can ask me anything, and I will answer it. Only whilst I'm soldering, though. The rest of the questions outside of soldering time, they have to be keyboard related or within reason what chat's talking about. So there we go. Right, let me crack on with the soldering iron. Just make sure you tag me, guys. I've seen a few of you have messaged me already, but just make sure you tag me with @TopClack so I can see them clearly. I don't want to miss them. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, guys, is just while you're putting the questions in, I'm just going to solder a switch in each corner, so if I drop this or anything else, it's all nicely held together. And we've not got any issues. And then I'll start to look at your guys' questions. Okay. Man, that pin does not want to take any solder on. Okay, it's soldered. It's soldered. It just didn't want to take any solder on. Right, I'll do this last one and then I'll start answering your questions. Remember, you guys, you can ask me about anything you like. Nothing is off the table here as long as I can answer it in a Twitch safe manner. I shall do so. Okay, so first question from Arcana. How are you? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm doing well. Life is okay. I've had a really nice day with the wife and the dog. So yeah, it's good. You also ask how the 280 is. The 280 is tucked away for the winter. It's currently in my garage at home. It's tucked away. It'll come back out around April time, and it has a few things that need doing on it. So the first thing that needs doing is the engine mounts need the new rubber bushings putting in place. So I have them on hand. I just need to actually do it, which does mean lifting the engine out, which is going to be a big job. The second thing that needs doing is one of the fuses has blown, which is a really easy job to fix, which just controls the rear lights at the back of the car. I didn't realize, but I was driving around for a little bit without any lights at the rear of the car. So that's a nice easy fix as well. Favorite OG die sub variant. My favorite version I own is probably my Belgian OG die subs. I have a set of Belgian OG die subs that I really like. They're currently on my Iron 180 prototype, which I was lucky enough to purchase through Smith & Rune, and I absolutely adore those caps. They're really nice. Favorite car you don't own? Oh gosh, tough one. Good question. If I could own any car that I don't own, what car would it be? I don't know if I have just one. This is the kind of question where if you ask me on different days of the week, I'm going to give you a different answer. Right now, one of the things that I have been looking for is an original Ford Sierra Cosworth. And I was really shocked by the prices because they're like 60,000 British pounds now, which is about $85,000. And I was really surprised by that. But I would absolutely love a Ford Escort Cosworth or Sierra Cosworth. I prefer the Sierra, but I'd take an Escort as well. But you could ask me that question next week and I'll probably give you a different answer to that. What kind of roast level do you prefer for your coffee beans? I prefer a medium roast. I'm not a huge fan of dark roasts, and light roasts I find don't give me enough caffeine. So yeah, I'd say I'm very much a medium roast kind of guy. Hold on, this switch here is not quite fully in, so we're just gonna push that in as we reheat that. There we go. Yeah, medium roast, medium to dark, somewhere in that kind of range. Like not too dark, but definitely not too mild either. Okay, we do have one bent pin that we're going to come back and fix up here shortly. It looks like the pin's actually snapped on that, so we'll fix that towards the end. Okay, see who the next question's from. We've answered the favorite OG die subs. What are your biggest concerns about taking prototypers full time? Okay, so let me dispel some rumors here. Like, I'm being made redundant from my day job. That will happen from mid-April, and I will no longer have a day job. Now, when you talk about prototypers being full time, yes, it will be my full time thing that I do to keep myself entertained. But in the short term, I won't be taking money out of prototypers, so it won't be paying me a salary. Like, I'm just going to live off savings and other investments that I have. I'm not going to live off money from prototypers. I may one day change that, and it might become my job in the fact that I'll be paid for it. But my biggest concern for it is finding the time to do all of the projects that I'm working on justice. Like, there doesn't seem to be an end to the number of projects that are out there, whether it be keycap sets, keyboards, everything else, and I want to do them all justice. But at the same time, I have to do enough that keeps the business afloat. Like, the business has fixed costs. It has the rent for this building, it has gas, electric, water rates, it has taxes, it has VAT payments that have to be made every quarter, internet bills, all kinds of stuff like that. So I need to at least make that much profit to make the company viable, and then do everything else on top. So that's my big worry, making sure that everything that happens is there for a good reason, which has been more than good enough for the past year. So I think we're in good stead. But my biggest worry, other than that, on a personal level, is I've never not had a regular income before. I have money investments behind me, so I'm not in a bad position, but I've never had no regular income before. So that'll be new for me, which will be interesting and a challenge, but it'll be good, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm relishing the experience of this. Favorite 40s board you don't own or don't own? You own or don't own, Oceanographer excluded. My favorite 40s board that I do own right now is my Equinox. My favorite 40s board that I don't own, the J04. There you go. I don't own that yet because there isn't a prototype yet. Joking answers aside, I really don't know. There's so many good ones out there. Man, I don't know. Like, I don't have the Prime Elise or the Prime E. I would really like one of those. I'm not sure if you guys class that as a true 40, but that's probably the one that's highest on my list. Okay. Do you have an old faithful screwdriver, like one that is your last resort? Please come out driver. Yes, I do. It's an old ratchet screwdriver. I don't have it to hand because it's not here at the workshop. It's actually at home. But it's an old ratchet screwdriver, which means it has actually got a barrel that extends. And as you push the handle in, it compresses the barrel and turns the screw on the end. That thing will get screws out that nothing else will get out. You can change the tip on it. You can put any tip in there. It's a really old screwdriver as well. It's from the 50s. So it's like 65 years old, something like that. But it is so good at getting out strip screws. Like, you can put any head in there that you like. It takes all sorts of head sizes, and you just push it, and as you push the screw, it undoes the screw. And if you change the ratchet setting on it, you push it and it does the screw up as well. So you don't actually have to twist the screw. You can just push it, and it's a little bit like pushing this, and you'd push that into the screw and it would screw it down. Like, it's really good. Wooden handle. It's a dream. It's a dream. So yeah, I do have an old faithful screwdriver. I actually have a really big one of them as well. That one that I'm talking about is handheld, and it's maybe 12 inches long when it's fully extended, and 8 inches when it's in its small format. But I actually have one that's about 3 feet long as well, which was it was actually used on old railroads, so it was designed for railroad working back in the day, and that used to be my father's, and it's now mine. Right, let's catch up then. What is your favourite raid in Destiny 2? Would you consider playing D2 on PC in the future? Have you started saying Cyberpunk yet? So, favourite raid from Destiny 2? I haven't played any of the Destiny 2 ones apart from up to Callus. So I'd say my favorite raid of all of the ones I've played is probably Vault of Glass, the original Vault of Glass. I do have D2 on PC. I have it on Steam, so I can play it on PC. I have played Cyberpunk, but only about 3 or 4 hours. I'm not hugely far into that at the minute. V88V says, oh, so both PCB and switch pins are already tinkered, fused, Royston before you start soldering. Well, the solder that I'm using is Royston cord, so you don't need to do anything. You just need to heat the switch pins up and then apply the solder, and that will solder the board together. We've got another bent pin here. I'm going to fix this one before we solder. I should have checked this before we did it. I usually do. I didn't today. Help if I grab hold of the switch properly. So I'm just going to change that switch out, pop another one in because we bent the pin on it. And there we go, that's fixed. Next question comes from Datsun. Yes, I have a 1976 Datsun. It's a Fairlady Z, it's bright orange, and it's the love of my life apart from my wife. I've had it for about 7 years. It took me 4 years to restore it. I've had it on the road since January 2017 was the first time it went back on the road. The first time I drove it was back in January 2017. So it's been back on the road 4 years. But it's in good condition, and it's about 95% complete as a project. And I don't think I'll ever get it to 100. I'm actually just in the process of importing another car at the moment as well. So that's currently on a boat from Japan over to the UK. Okay, D-Matex says, Papaya McLaren or British Racing Green Aston Martin? Papaya McLaren. I'm a huge McLaren fan. Easy. Sapphire Cosworth of 4-wheel drive. I'd go for the Cosworth over the 4-wheel drive any day of the week. What do you think of the NA MX-5? I want to buy one. Do you mean North America NMX-5 or naturally aspirated MX-5? If you mean naturally aspirated MX-5s, they're great cars. They're dead easy to drive. For a rear-wheel drive car, they're dead easy to drive. You'll have a ton of fun in it. Just make sure you've driven other things with a bit of power before you drive that. That's all I would say. Because rear-wheel drive can be a bit of a handful if you're not used to it. Especially if you don't have, like, new tires and things. But don't let that put you off. Like, definitely go and have a go with one. No prototype yet. Sounds like it needs to be fixed. I haven't ordered it yet. If you mean the JO4, I will get to it. I do have a Pearl. Yes, I do have a Pearl. It's really chunky and really heavy. It's currently built with Celios, I believe. I've had that for a long time. It was actually a gift off of a friend. I should reach out to them because I haven't spoken to them in a little while. That reminds me to do that. It's good, thank you. Prime Lease is an awesome 40s board. Yeah, Kubi's working on Pearl R2. Nice, good to hear it. I like Kubi, he's a good guy. She says, what is your favorite Alchemist keyboards board? The one that you can't have, Sheen. The one that you're banned from. There you go. Sean has Poli's first rating. Well, congratulations, man. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. Link for the screwdriver. I can show some pictures. If you're watching my Discord, Minty Boy, and ask in either the Top Back or the Prototypist Discords, I will share some pictures when I get home tonight. That's fine. They have B stock if you want it. B stock what, Zui? B stock what? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. So it's like a screw punch, but a screwdriver. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Does the same thing, but you smash it with a hammer and it will pull it out. Maybe. Arcane says, what are your thoughts on ortho? Not a fan. Is my thought. Not a fan on ortho. I really, really struggle with ortho layouts. It's just because I'm old. Okay, last row here. We've got one switch to go back to fix, and then the rotary encoder to solder and clip, and then we're done. Let me see if there's any more questions. Callus is out of D2. Yeah, Callus is out of D2. Yeah, but I was saying across all of it. Vault of Glass was my favourite raid. Where do I buy my resources? So it depends on what you mean. Heidschnuger. I have no idea how I've pronounced that. But I tend to buy them. It depends on what you mean by resources. If you mean things like switches and stuff like that, I stock them on my own store, so that all comes from the manufacturers. If you mean like other keyboards and things like this, then I buy them from the designers and makers and crafters and other vendors in the community. Often they're bought in group buy, which means that there's a little wait for them, but that's fine. That's alright. I don't mind a little wait. Okay, almost there, guys. Just a couple more switches to solder, and then we'll jump on to the rotary encoder. And then once we've done that, we'll fix the switch that has got a bent pin. And then once we've done that, we will do the LCD, the OLED screen. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. What is the heaviest board you have? Oof. I don't know which it is, but I've built boards that have been in the £20 range, £21 range. How do I like my steak cooked? Rare. I remember Golf 2 1987. Do you had a carburetor? Yeah, most of my cars have had carburetors. I've had a lot of cars with carburetors in the past rather than electronic ignition. Sorry, electronic fuel injection. I actually have a VW Caddy. So this is a Volkswagen Caddy pickup truck from 1989. That's got a 2-litre diesel engine swap in it as well. So it had 1.6 petrol stock, and it's been upgraded to, I say upgraded, depends on your definition of upgrade, I guess. But it's been changed and swapped to a 2-litre turbo diesel, which is an AAZ engine from a VW Passat. So there you go. She says, "What the?" Yeah, sorry, man. Japanitrat says, "Best stock keycap packaging tray type in your opinion?" So the best packaging I've seen for keycaps is Infinikey, purely because they have a really nice cardboard box and each key's in a separate pocket in a tray, and there's 4 layers or 3 layers or whatever. And I just think that that's a way better way of doing it than how, say, GMK do their trays right now. It's probably a little bit more wasteful, but I think on the whole that's probably the better way of doing it. Okay, so we're just soldering the pins on the rotary encoder now. So there's 5 pins to do on this, and then we've also got the 2 parts that hold it into the PCB. The first thing we're going to do is just the pins. So I'm just going to make sure that these are all soldered nicely first. Okay, that's all the pins on the rotary encoder soldered, and now we're just going to solder in the clips as well. That's one done. Just going to turn this around for better access. And then we're just going to solder this one in as well. And there we go. That's that done. Okay. What is my favorite artisan sculpt? Any that you're currently hunting? I really like Brobots. I've got a lot of Brobots. I've got a lot of Kiporas. I want more of both. Those are the 2 that I really tend to go to. So yeah, those. What do you think of the Mark II MR2? I prefer the Mark 1. I'll be honest. Like, I prefer that whole boxy lines than the MR2. The Mark II MR2, where it's a bit more curvy. I much prefer the boxy versions, but they're nice cars. I would probably go for a sleeker over an MR2 though, is my honest view. Any good F-rollers boards you recommend? Depends on what size you want. If you want just TKL size, or if you want actual numpad and stuff as well. Really depends. Bagels. JTK Max trays are good, but the problem is they crack really easily, and like they you bump them and they will crack. That's the image. That's the issue I have with them. Yeah, they're a lot of plastic. A lot of plastic. Okay, so that's the board all soldered up. The next thing to do is just to solder up the pins on the top of the LED, and then we can solder the LED into the board as well. And then we're done with soldering. Okay, and that's 4. There we go. Nicely done. Okay. Right, last time for any questions, guys. If you want to ask anything, now is the time. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to install this. And I'm just going to make sure that we put something underneath it. So for now, I think I'm just going to put a bit of plastic underneath there. And we'll probably solder it in and then slide the plastic underneath afterwards. But I am going to fix this up with a bit of tape later on. I think that will be my plan. I'm just going to try and cut this with flush cutters. And we'll do it with tape later on. I'll replace this with some caftan tape later. This is just for now. And bear in mind as well, folks, that if you do buy this board in group buy, this will come with a 3D printed solution for this part as well. So it's only for this particular prototype that I'm having to go to this length. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to try and find something to prop this up with. There we go. We'll get the first pin soldered and then we can lower it down from there. Okay, first pin soldered, which means that what we can do now is we can take out the weight that we were propping it up with. We can take out a bit of plastic. We can lift up the LCD screen. We can push that underneath. And then we can push that back down. And now we can solder the rest. And as I say, I think this is going to have like a little 3D printed sled that will hold it in place. And just be a nice little addition to the board as well. I'll just tidy that up. There we go. Did we join those together? Nope. All good. And there we go. That is our soldering done. Okay. Last question. Do you have a Top Clack sticker? I want to put one on my pressure pot. Yeah, I can send you one. Sean's, if you DM me on Discord, send me your address. I will send you a whole raft of stickers. Discriminate says, what's your favourite alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage? Alcohol, whiskey, malt, single, Scottish. Non-alcoholic, Iron Brew. Will you send me the Oceanographer? Yes or yes? No. Do you know how far behind GMK is on their orders? So Real Big Boss, what you can do is you can go to Key Caplender and you can sort by manufacturer GMK and then sort by unshipped. That will show you the oldest outstanding key sets. I think there's about 95 key sets in GMK's queue right now. 95 different key sets, I think. Okay. So there we go, guys. That's the soldering done. Whoops. Next job is just to flush cut the pins on the underside of the rotary encoder. So we're just going to flush cut these. Because they do stand, I believe, a little bit too proud. There we go. In fact, we haven't finished soldering. We have a switch pin that's bent, don't we? So we need to fix that. So let's get the soldering iron back and let's fix that before we do anything else. Okay. This is where we're going to have to be kind of careful and kind of aggressive all at the same time. I'm going to heat up the pin that we soldered by mistake and try and pull the switch at the same time, just like so. I'm going to get rid of that switch, and then we're going to get ready to put a new switch in. Now what we have to remember is at this moment in time that there is a plug right where I tried to take the old pin out, so we just need to pull that out of position. Then make sure the switch is firmly seated. I'll reheat that pin back up, and then we can solder it. And that has fixed our bent pin issue. There we go. You shouldn't have to flush cut on the group by board. Yes, I remember you saying that actually. Yes, you won't have to flush cut on the group by board, but I'm just flush cutting on this for security reasons and making sure everything is nice and tidy. So I'm just going to flush cut these ones as well, just make sure everything's flush. There we go. Let's get rid of these sharp bits on my table. Okay. Sean's hopping off now. Thanks, man, for being here. Go enjoy your work. I can't wait to see your artisans. Okay, guys, there we go. So that's the board all put together. We've got a little bit of plastic underneath here. It's now time to put everything back into the case. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the plate assembly into the top case, and then we're going to screw this together. So we're going to do that by just dropping a screw in each hole, lifting up the case while we do so, just to make sure that the switches aren't being pressed and that the rotary encoder's not being moved in any way, shape or form. And we're just going to go diametrically opposed where we can to screw these back together. Green boards make you really happy. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear you say that. I do like a green board as well. Green's one of my favorite colors, but it's hard to do well. Okay, last screw, and then we can put the top case and the bottom case together. I'm just going to make sure nothing is going to contact. That should be okay. It's going to be really tight on the tolerances. Just a couple of bits of solder I want to tackle here. So as Hedgie says, this is going to all be fixed anyway in the group by board, but I'm just going to clip these really quickly anyway, just to make sure that I'm not going to have anything shorting out or scratching that lovely weight. This won't be needed on the group by boards. This is just on the prototypes. I'm just going to flush cut all these switch pins just down to size a little bit, just to make sure we're okay. As I say, this is just a precaution purely for the prototype and not needed for production. Okay, making our way down the board now. Just literally clipping off the very tips of these, just to make sure we've got no clearance issues. Man, this is going to be a mess to clean up later on. The office cleaner doesn't come till Thursday either, so I'll have to do it. Okay. I know this is probably not needed, but I'm just literally doing this just to make sure that I've got no issues and I'm not going to scratch that lovely, lovely prototype weight. Almost there now. There we go. Okay. Don't want to scratch any keyboards. Let's get all of those bits off of the desk mat. There we go. Okay, now it's time to pop both halves of the case together. So we're going to line up those alignment pins. And then whilst they're sitting pretty, we're going to line up the screws as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a screw in one corner first, and because there's a little bit of play, a little bit of movement between the top case and the bottom case, we're just going to do this up finger tight. So we can still move the top case. We're just going to get this corner really nice and flush. Then what we're going to do is go diametrically opposed down to the other corner. we're going to make sure that's nice and flush. And then once this one's nice and flush, we're actually going to tighten this one up fully. And then we're going to come back up here, keep it nice and flush, tighten that up, and then we can put the other 2 screws in, and we don't need to worry about them. We know everything's already flush across the diagonal, which means that the other diagonal corners have to be flush. There we go. Okay. Okay, time to put the bumpons on. Diametrically opposed. Yeah, I think it comes from working on engines, and you have to kind of do that when you're doing engines and stuff. I just and the reason why I do it is just to even pressure across a keyboard as you string it together. The last thing you want to do is have uneven pressure and risk stripping a screw or anything like that. So I think it's just a habit that I have from a lot of the project cards I work on. Have green switch films, nice. What's the board with ham on behind you? That is a wing keyless Sirius, all made of POM. Okay, there we go. Next job now is to put the rotary encoder on. And this has a little grub screw, so we need to find the right sized screwdriver for this. That was too small. Next size it up. Is that one too small as well? Yes. I would not have thought it was that size, but it is that size.
Very nice.
Thank you very much, one above all. Thank you very much, dude. So we're going to pop this on. We're actually going to screw that in place. Just like so. There we go. This is a smooth turning rotary encoder, but it does have the push button on it as well, so you can push it up and down. So you can see that I can push that in and out. So there we go. Next, it's time to decide some keycaps. Let's catch up with chat first, and we'll decide on some keycaps. How thick is the brass weight? It's thick. It's thick. It's thicker at the rear than it is at the front. Flush cutter flexing. My flush cutters are really nice. They're Nipex if anyone's interested. These are some of the nicest flush cutters. Come on, camera focus, please. Nipex. These are some of the nicest flush cutters you can buy. They're really good. They're not cheap. They're like 30 quid a pair, but they're really, really good. Really good. I see you're actually building that. Yes, I'm building it. Your coffee mug bothers me. Cool keyboard though. What's wrong with my coffee mug? What is wrong with... Do not insult my coffee mug, man. What's wrong with it? What are you saying? What's wrong with my coffee mug? Refrigerated toilet paper. What is wrong with this? This was handmade by a friend. Yeah, it's not circular at the top. It was handmade by a friend, and he shaped it by doing that. So it has his hand shape in there, and I can actually feel his thumbprints on this side. And it's kind of peaked here for me to drink out of it. It's a thing. Like it's nice. I have two, and they're almost identical because he shaped them like that with his hands. Handmade by a friend. What more can I say? Hand painted as well. This is all hand painted. Polka dots on the inside, polka dots on the outside. He hand painted that shit for me. Like, it's a good mug. You have one of those flush cutters, the ESD version. Yeah, these are ESD as well. So yeah, these are, I think, if you mean the blue and purple ones, these are ESD as well. I paid an extra £10 because I like the grey version better, but they're identical from what I understand. The Heart of the North desk pad is so nice. Not sure I've seen that one, but yeah. Nipex and NWS made in Germany equals quality. German tools. That's what you need. Not quite the Ockmug mug good. Yeah, Ockmug has gone. That's retired. But maybe it'll come back one day. Maybe. Okay, it's time for you guys to pick a keycap set. So let me get a poll ready. And then you guys can decide. Now, I couldn't work out what I wanted to use for this, so I came up with 3 ideas. I'll show you guys them in a second, and then I'll start the poll so you guys can pick. So let's start the poll, and then I'll show you the key sets, and you guys can pick. Oh, the veneer one. Oh, yes, yes. Sorry, I do know which one you mean. Yes, sorry. I know them as different names. I know them as SKU numbers. So the first key set is GMK Olive. This is the first choice. The second choice is GMK Night Runner. And the third choice has Waves. No, but I should be able to find a key that will fit. So GMK Waves is the third choice. I should be able to find a key that will fit. Hedgie. It might have the wrong legend on it, but I will find a key set that will fit. Those were the only three keys that I could find that I thought would be able to go on this. And I may have realised I've just cocked something up. No, we're all good. I thought I'd cocked something up then, but I haven't. Yeah, those are the only three cases I thought would go on this without going OG, and I didn't think OG keycaps would cover it, and the only other keycaps that I had that would thought go on it was 9009, but that's on my Equinox, so that's on here, so I couldn't use it. I thought the shelf had fallen down then, it hasn't, it's just the keyboard falling over. Fixed. We have shelves going off in that direction. It's hard to show you guys, but there is shelves all over that direction, and there's more shelves up there as well. Okay. Let's see what's winning. Waves is winning. Interesting. Interesting. This is Waves, boys. Band 1.75 U key. I'll find something that'll fit. I'll find something that'll fit. Green is hard to match. Yeah, it's a lovely color, but it's going to be really hard to get something that's going to look good on it. That's the issue we have. That's the issue. Just you need to vote, Arcana. You need to vote. Like, that's how you win this. You vote. Like your vote counts. So there we go. Look at the weight though. James really likes the look of this board. Dude, it's chunky as hell. Like it's hugely heavy. Let's well you guys decide. Let's see if I've got my scales to hand. I'm sure I have, yeah. Let's weigh this. Let's zoom in a touch as well so you guys can see. Okay. So in grams, this is 2.216 kilograms. This is 2.2 kilograms. For those of you in the United States, that's 4 pounds and 14 ounces without keycaps. 4 pounds and 14 ounces. Side profile, it's just a chunk. Like seriously, this thing is heavy. It's heavier than that. Nearly 5 freedom units, yeah. Heavier than my built Cyber Voyager. Yeah, I have got heavier boards, but this is a real chunk. What switches? These switches are lavenders. You can check out the build by just doing the build command. So you can just do build, and that will tell you more about the build. And Zui beat me to it, so therefore it listened to him and it didn't listen to me. Freedom units or insurrection units? Capital building units. Hedgie85 says, Jay, do you know where one could get a POM plate made in Europe if one has the file? Yes, in my workshop, just through that wall there. Just through that wall. Although I'm technically in Europe, the continent, not in EU. Distinction. This poll is 10, so there's only about a minute left, so you guys need to pick who's going to win. Night Runner and Olive are tagged, parallel, and Waves is slightly ahead by 4 votes. This could all turn around like the last 30 seconds if one of these 130 viewers makes a decision and picks something different. Pay to win. You can pay to win. Someone could donate 1,000 bits and win this. Absolutely. But they'd have to be very quick. As long as you don't get a wrong answer. Olive would look good on there. Don't forget, guys, I have a vote as well. So if it's only one vote in it, I might turn the vote around. That's the other thing. I have a vote as well, a single vote. So let's see what the results were. Because my vote is for olive, okay? But let's see what the results were. Show the keycaps once more. Yeah, so the three choices were GMK Waves, GMK Night Runner, and GMK Olive. So Waves is kind of like a luminous green colour. Night Runner is kind of like a blue and luminous yellow. And Olive is creams and olive colours. So there we go. So I have a vote, and I was going to vote for Olive. Let's see where that comes out to. Didi declined buying the vote, did he? It's like Brexit all over again. Should put an alpha modifier from each set on. Maybe, maybe. The group buy has not happened as yet, Bagels. No, will be soon. It was an attempted rig, but it failed. Democracy fails again. Let's see. So it does mean that Olive and Waves are tied. So it's either Olive or Waves, right? Should we rerun this poll and people can pick between the two? Let's rerun the poll and pick between Waves and Olive. So let's rerun this poll because it was really close. Let's rerun it. Okay, I'm only going to put this one down for 2 minutes, guys. So you've got it starting now. So you guys can pick between Waves and Olive. So we have Olive, we have Waves. Night Runner goes back away. J Dictatorship, please. Only for you, Zri. Only for you. Waves is legit the right set in name and color for this board. Maybe, but it's actually based on music waves. It's not like sound waves. It's not based on like sea waves. Half and half, and then let's decide. No, you guys can pick now. You can pick now. I'm not doing it twice. You guys can pick now, and I'm doing it once. Does the olive color clash with the green of the board? You'll find out if it wins. You'll find out if Olive wins. If Olive wins, you will find out. Do you know what? I'm going to vote now, so it adds my vote in. Oh, I can't vote. I can't vote, so I'll have to vote afterwards. Stop the count. Well, you've got a minute left, so the count will stop in a minute. Sound waves, ocean waves, semantics. It is, but it's true, man. It's true. The shade of green is more mature, which is why I feel like olive is better, but I don't know. I think both of them are going to clash, I'll be honest with you. I don't think either will look particularly good on this colour. I think it's going to have to be OG caps eventually. That's what I'm going to have to go for. But we're going to go with one of these. Stolen election. Did they steal it? Steal it at the post vision? Is that what happened? Waves clashes as well, but worse than olives, yeah. CRP caps for this board. Do you know what might be planned? I do have some CR caps coming. Stop the vote. No, you've got like 30 seconds left. It'll stop when it stops. You guys need to behave. You need to behave. It looks like Olive's going to win it. It looks like Olive's going to win it. Unless someone rigs the vote in the last 10 seconds, Olive's win. Olive is the winner. So there we go. Waves has gone away, and it's time to do this. There is no recount. It may be rigged, but who cares? It's tough luck anyway. Okay. Right, we need to see what this looks like on the board. I don't even know what layout this has. Didi, decline. Can you send me the KLE again? Can you send me that KLE again? I should open that up. I should have opened it up last time and I didn't. Okay. Let's see if we can find the alphas. Thank you, Didi. I appreciate that, my boo. Thank you, man. Yeah, okay. Does it have this punctuation? It does have this punctuation. It has a lot of punctuation actually for the size of it. That's one of the good things about this. Okay. Finding some arrow keycaps now. The modifiers is going to be where it kills me on this. See, I'm glad I didn't go the olive color. Look at that. I'm glad I didn't go the olive color, but I've gone for the dark green color for the mods. Yeah, the olive color doesn't work. Let's just leave out the keys that we might need. Because we need to talk mods in a minute. We'll need that in a second. A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K. Okay, mods we're going to sort out in a minute. I'm just going to put these to one side for now. Apart from the arrow keys, going to take these and put these in place. Y, U, I, O. Make sure to read Stash was you've done. He's building your JR2. Yes, I know he is. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah. Will Ocean be on Prototypers when group buy is live? Maybe. Maybe. It's a lot of punctuation because minivan layout is the best layout. I think you'll find that JO4 layout is the best layout. Has a really good layout. I just don't want the compilation of the OLED and the encoder since I have no clue how to program them. Get someone else to do it for you, Static Gauge. That's the trick. You say to Hedgie, I can't buy your board unless you unless you fix this for me. Secret to getting a good KLE layout is often asking other people to do it for you. I have no idea if I even need that key, but we'll keep it for now. Okay, we are going bars on this, not scoops. Sacrilege, I know. But hey, what are you guys gonna do? Shoot me? Maybe. Okay, so the alphas look nice. Let's agree on this. The alphas look good. They work here. Hedgie is big minivan stan. Sure. Is there a price estimate yet? No. Penguin Droppings is here. Hello, my good friend. How are you doing today? You did hear JO4 mentioned. Yeah, if you like 40s and you like J series boards, go speak to James because he's got the design. We'll run that some point soon, I think. We'll get prototypes first, then we'll look at running it. Okay, so we don't need any of that. We do need the P key, which I haven't found yet. Have we lost the P key for this set? Like, is that something that I've done? Have I lost the P key? No. Have I lost the J key? No, it's there. I'm just going blind. It's okay. Right. Okay. So then for mods, let's do this column here. So we need an escape key, but we need a row 2 escape. I don't think I have that. Like, I don't think there is a row 2 escape in this set. But let's just double check and make sure we're right. Because I could be wrong. And there could be one in here all along. Okay. So there is not a row 2 escape. So we can put the control and alts in place because we have those. I'll put the alt in the right position. And we should have another one new FN key for here. And we just need another one new FN key for there. We do need the down arrow. That should be in here somewhere. He says it should be here somewhere. There it is. We need a 1.5U keycap for enter. I'm not sure what we're going to use for that. Possibly a novelty. Let's just go for a novelty for now, unless we find a better candidate. Because I don't think we have the 1.5U enter in this set. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we do. And then we need the 1.75U backspace. Now, I thought this set had that. I could have sworn that this set did have that 1.75U backspace. Apparently it means I'm going blind because I don't see it. Welcome to 40's keycat compat issues. I know, man. Like I was prepared for this. I kind of like was half prepared for this. I'm wondering if I just change that keycap out. Actually, let's just change that out and we'll go for that keycap just because it fits better from a sculpt perspective. And then we have the backspace, but I forgot it's for there. It's not for here. Okay, so back to trying to find a 1.75U keycap for the top. We could put caps lock up there. That kind of works, but not perfect. But I don't think we have anything else that will fit. So it looks like that's going to be our choice. And then we need the 1.75U shift, which does exist, because I've seen it. I had that in my hand a second ago. I know I've seen that. There it is. So we can do shift on this side. There we go. We've got shift on that side. We're good there. Then we need a 1.25U key for here. And this is where we're going to start to struggle, I think, with this keycap set. I don't think there is a 1.25U keycap in the right profile for that particular part. There is not. So let's This is why I don't 40s very often. Let's 1.25U, sorry, not 1.5, 1.25U. Let's just go novelty for now, and then we can fill that up if we need to afterwards. And then we don't have an escape key, and there will be some 1U keys for that particular row. So if we've got something like an end key or something, we'll use that instead. And again, we might be struggling here, guys. We might be struggling. Yeah. Okay, so we've got an end key that's the correct profile. Okay, so just that key is the only one that's the wrong profile, and I don't think there's a 1.25U key for that profile row in this set. So let's call that done, and let's go with that. There we go. Building a 40 data split spacebar. There's, you know me well. That's not what I'm going to do. Ice says I have PTSD. DD says my poor wallet. What about the JO3? The JO3 is in design still. It's pretty much done from a design perspective. We just need to proto it. I'm going to make a big dono because I don't know why. Please don't make it because you don't know why. If you're going to donate, have a good reason to donate. You like my content, you don't like the content, you want me to do something, you don't. You know, don't just do it for no reason, man. There's not sadly, yeah. I really struggled with compound on this. Really struggled. Waves has no 40 support. Yeah, we'd have been even worse with waves. We would have been even worse with waves. The 40s kit for olives caps lock is your only option. Yeah, I think it is. I think you're absolutely right. I don't have the 40s kit for it. DSS Martini soon? That'd be awesome. I'd buy that. If you mean like the old school Martini colorway from race cars, yeah, I'd buy that. Bingsu 40s. Do you know what? I don't have many 40s kits. I really don't. We need to get some hubcap blanks out there. Haha. Is hub still a thing? No, JO3 is more of an 1800 style layout. DSA Bounty Hunter. Do you know what? I did have DSA Bounty Hunter and I sold it to Bledin a long time ago. Okay. So this is the board all done. Let's try switch here and see if it actually works. So I have switch hitter up. Let me turn it on for you guys. You should now be able to see switch hitter on your screens. Oh, why is it gone there? It should be slightly different to that. Let me fix this. There we go. There you go. We can now see switch hitter. We're gonna steal this cable. We're gonna plug it in here. It's setting up the Oceanographer. Zoom in a bit, guys, so you can see what we're doing here. You can also comment on how the keycaps look. Oceanographer is set up and ready to go. So let's see what the origin encoder does. Nothing. It changes the LEDs. There we go. Okay, let's test the keys out and see if we get anything working. Nope, nothing works. So let's try flashing the latest bin and try that. The FN key next to the spacebar won't do anything on the base firmware it's sent with. Yeah, so the base firmware doesn't appear to do anything. So we're going to flash the file that Hedgie sent over earlier on. Hedgie, remind me, how do I get it into boot mode? Is it holding escape as I plug it in? Yeah, escape is plugging it in. Okay, so let me get up QMK. We've unplugged that board, so I can't even type. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I should have got another cable for this, but I didn't. Let's get QMK toolbox up. Let's shrink that a little bit. And then let's hide switch hitter for now. And then you guys can follow along with what I'm doing on here. So you can see I've already got the bin file loaded up. What we're going to do now is we're going to plug in the keyboard, and we're going to plug it in while we hold down the escape key. And that should put us into DFU mode. And that should be found. There we go. So that's being found in QMK toolbox. Now what we can do is we can just flash it. Which MCU do we need, Hedgie? Remind me, which MCU do we need? I don't want to flash the wrong one. Is it the AT90 USB? Is that right? ATmega 32U4. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to hit flash. And this is now going to flash the board with the latest firmware, as you can see. Nice and simple. This will have VIA support, so the VIA or VIA, whatever you want to call it, that will be supported on the board. So there we go. Board's been disconnected. Now we should be able to allow it to reconnect, and it's setting up the board. We can get rid of QMK Toolbox. Bring switch hitter back up. Keyboard's now set up and is ready to go. We can see that we've got actually more controls here now. This has actually got a display on it. Let me show you that up close. There you go. It has function. And then let's see if we get any responses. Okay, so that's all working on this row. That's control. Everything is working on there. And control. That's escape. That is now escape. Interesting layout of choice. FN, that should be our num row. That's F row. That works. That should be num. Oh, that should be num row. No, okay. So we don't have numbers enabled, so we need to go and fix that. And we should have arrows. Arrows all work. Okay, so all of the keys work. Rotary encoder. That pauses music. So the rotary encoder was working as well. We know that that's all working. There we go. VIA will be on this board. Yes, you will be able to get VIA on this board. Yes. My layout is very interesting. I don't like escape there. That's dangerous for me. But hey, we'll go with it. I don't dare type on this whilst it's plugged in. So I'm going to unplug it whilst we type on it. But yeah, there we go. It works. It all works. Tap, hold, up, arrow for layer 2. Okay. Do you mean tap or hold? Oh, okay. Okay, I've got you. It's hold. Okay, I've got you. Yeah, I've got you. It's doing shift as well, so that's probably a fault in the firmware because it's doing shift. How do we get onto the other layers? How do we get onto it? Right, that's layer 1. There we go. That gives us numbers. Okay, so there we go. That gives us numbers. There we go. We can test that out. That's all working fine. Great. Perfect. R4 needs testing. Yeah, it all needs testing. But yeah, that works. I'm happy with that. That's really cool. Function key is L3. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. 40s is always an exercise in reduced capacity. It's my experience. But hey, it looks good. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Olive came out nice on this board? Do you think that worked well? Do you think Olive looks okay? I'm kind of happy with that. I think that looks all right. Yeah, it fits really well, right? Better than I expected it to be. If I'd have used the actual Olive keycaps, it would have probably clashed a bit more. Anyway, it's now time to give it a little bit of a sound test. So should we pause the music and see what it sounds like? Where's my music playing from today? It's playing from here. So let's pause the music. I'm going to take my headphones off so I can hear this as well. I'm going to bring the mic down really nice and close. And you guys, let me know in chat what you think of the sound. Let me know how you think this sounds. Bear in mind, I'm not the best typist. I don't really type on 40s with this kind of layout. So typing may not look the best, and it may not sound the best. But let's see how it goes. This sounds awesome. This sounds so good. This sounds like really heavy raindrops just falling down your window. It sounds like rain. This is so good. Holy shit, this sounds good. Guys, like, that's a revelation. It literally sounds like rain. Like, it sounds like rain hitting my window. That's what it sounds like. Like, this sounds really good. Like, I did not expect this to sound as good as it does. Let's zoom back out so we get the colors back nicely. There we go. Like, I'm blown away by that. That sounds so good. It looks great as well. Look how nice that is. Don't forget, guys, this huge chunk of brass in the base. This is ripe for some infill. I'm thinking what I'm thinking here is I'm thinking white infill for the sails on the ship, black infill for the ship, and then like a light pale blue infill for all of the wave pattern. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, guys, I'm blown away with that. Sure, when you should fill, I'll probably infill it on stream, but it's going to be a while before I do it because I'll need to buy the paint. So it's going to be a couple of weeks until that happens because I'll need to buy the paint. So yeah. Yeah, the overall mass versus a small form factor works wonders. I think, James, you hit the nail on the head. Like, just the weight of this board, like the 4.8 pounds, whatever it was, plus the compactness. And don't forget, I mean, the lavender switches really help as well. These sound great. The lavender switches sound fantastic. So, yeah, but I'm really, really impressed with that. Like, hugely impressed with it. I will try and replace my Equinox with it for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. I really am going to have to change the layers, though, Hedgie. I cannot use the way you have this set up. Like, that is going to really bug me, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to change the layout on it, and I'll chat to you afterwards about how to do that. And I've got some ideas on how I want to use the OLED. So, yeah, we'll do that later on. It sounded really amazing. Also reminds me of an old terminal with green screen. I know the type you mean, yeah. The shift might mean the internet surfing, maybe. Is there a special paint for infilling? Not really, Friendship. So what I use is I like to use acrylic paints that are water-based, not resin-based acrylic paints. Water-based acrylic paints, and you can always tell the difference because water-based say they're water-based. If it doesn't say, it's resin-based. But water-based ones will wash out if you need to. You can just run it under a hot tap and it will take the paint off. So yeah. Too many layers would drive me nuts. Yeah, I'm going to limit it to 2 layers, like the top layer plus 2 other layers. So we'll have the first layer and then we'll have a second layer as well. The first layer will probably be on hold of the rotary encoder for a single tap, and then we'll probably put one on probably the caps lock or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. Like hold caps lock, tap and hold. Tap will be backspace, and then hold it will be layer 2 or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. I'll work something out. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed by that. Thoroughly impressed by that. with the tight tolerances of the new design, I think this is going to be a winner. And it's hugely heavy. It's just solid. Like, it's a lump. But yeah, very impressed, very impressed. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate your guidance on this Hedgie and helping me get this working. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to using this for a couple of days and seeing how it goes. Drop test, yeah, drop test. There you go, that's the drop test. Double flip test. No, I'm not going to throw it. These are with the lavender linear switches. Yes, this is with the lavender linear switches. That's these switches right here. These switches. If it focuses. If it focuses. Come on, camera, please. There you go. Lavender switches. There you go. Okay. See you later, Arcana. Thank you very much. Broke the damn desk. It wouldn't surprise me if it did go through. Yeah, like, it wouldn't surprise me. It's a chunk. It's really hefty. Yeah, great work, Hedgie. I fully agree with that sentiment. Okay, last chance to ask any questions, guys, because if there's no more questions, we're going to wrap up the stream there so I can go home, because it's 10 PM and I'm at my workshop and I need to go home. So last time for any questions. Thanks very much for being here, guys. I appreciate it. We are going to raid Stash Builds board, so I'm going to set that up while you guys ask any last questions. Okay, so I'm going to start that raid. So we'll be ready to raid in a few seconds, but thank you very much for being here, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for the stream. No, thank you, Hedgie. We are going to raid Stash, yep. Not the fact that rear is fully enclosed due to the way the weight is mounted instead of it being tight in the case like most boards, reduce any ping. It could be Anarchy. I'll have a look at that. I'll see how that is. Yeah. Did the prototype have a speaker in it? No, this one doesn't. This one doesn't. Or as far as I'm aware, it doesn't. If it does, I haven't tried it. Tried not to get snowed in again in the next few days. No snow here right now, so it should be good. Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here. We're going to go raid Stash now. So I want you to tell Stash that he's amazing. Just when we get into chat there with him, you just say, he's amazing. Stash, you are amazing. I want you to say that. And then we're going to go watch him build my JO2. So please tell him that it's amazing. I'm going to run the outro now. And then we'll raid Stash straight away. So thank you very much for being here, guys. I appreciate your time. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.